Hi, thanks for checking out our channel here. This is going to be just a little overview video of what we did to this unit. I was going to make a video on how to repair it, but I didn't know what it was going to take and then if we could even fix it. So I didn't make the original video of the repair on this thing. But anyway, this is a Tru-Test EC2000 weight scale. It's semi-fancy. I mean, this is a 20-something-year-old scale. They don't make it anymore. They don't even make any parts for this anymore, so when they do go bad, you got a 50-50 shot of getting it fixed. So, but we're going to get in this thing. Company is Fencer Fixer Repair. We do a lot of electric fence boxes, what we mostly do, but we do work on scales and low bars, and also EID tag readers, the handheld stick kind, and the little panel antenna readers as well. But FencerFixer.com is that website, and cattlescalerepair.com is my other site for doing talking about repairs on this. But we work on all this stuff, at least we try to. Well, the guy sent it in, said I was working forever, and all of a sudden it quit. And so, like, well, send it in, we'll try, you know, because you can't get circuit boards for it, you can't get anything for it. So anyway, so when I got it in, it's straight 12-volt cable, comes out the bottom here on the red and black right there. There's no internal battery in it, so when you hook it to a 12-volt battery, it's got power, you know, so it's made to be portable, bring it around with you and stuff. And I was like, well, he wanted to know if we could put like a 110-volt like adapter to go 110 12-volt. So I was like, well, maybe let's see if we can even get it powered on first. So we so I'm gonna take the cover off here real quick. I've already done the repair to it, and it is working. It didn't come on at all, so I applied like 13 volts to it. The power comes in right here in this little plug, and it wouldn't come on. It's like, okay, so I unplugged this. I tested across it, and I got 13 volts. I'm like, okay, well, the plug's good. And so I started looking a little closer, and I don't want to take the board back off because I've already done a lot of work to it. I don't want to do anything else. I don't want to break anything on accident and have to do more work when it's already working. But you see this little white wire? Well, there's a trace on the board. Can't really see. It's kind of a coppery color right there, right above my fingernail. That's part of a trace, like these little lines, see, like little traces, and it was burnt right there. I was like, okay, well, I found a solder joint in the back side of the board, solder it, and jumper the wire and bypass that little spot. I like, okay, that's good. And there was a diode sitting right here, a through-hole old-style diode, and then on the right above it, in that spot up there, was a surface-mounted diode. I was pretty certain that's what it was, but I didn't know because you couldn't read it. It was surface-mounted, these little bitty dinky things like that, and I couldn't tell what it was. I said, I think it's a diode. I don't know. And I looked right next to the board, and it said D1. Like, well, okay, that's a diode because D stands for diode on these circuit board stuff. Well, I tested this diode, and it read it was shorted. It was reading continuity through when it shouldn't. So I tested one above it just to see what it would read, and it was shorted too. So like, well, maybe this one up here is affecting this one down here. I didn't know. So I snipped it, pulled one leg up, retested this diode that was down here originally, and it still read open. Like, okay, well, that diode is definitely bad. So okay, I can put one there. I said, what am I going to do right there in this upper one? Because I don't deal a lot with the surface mount stuff. He's like, you know what? I can just take a regular diode, trim it up, angle it a certain way, and solder right across the two joints that it used to be. Well, the solder joint that was right there was it was just too darn close. So I didn't bother with it and soldered it right where that wire went, because electrically it's the same spot. So I did that. I plugged it back in, applied power to it, and just watched for anything to get felt things. Like, nothing's getting hot, nothing was smoking. These ribbon cables were easy to unplug, but a pain in the ass to plug back in. But got those back in because you can't get circuit boards from them. So I was trying to be real careful. So now I'm going to apply power back to it. Push the button, and see it says it comes on. Before it wouldn't even do that. So the buttons are all working. At least these ones are. So I talked to the guy. Said, let me play around a little bit more. And he did ask about 110 volt plug for it to convert from 110 and 12 volts. Like, yeah, I can do something like that. But I was like, I was going to just take this plug out, see what kind of connector it was, and I was like, well, I'll just find a similar connector or something and make one for the guy. Well, this thing is hardwired, it's bolted to the case, and it's full of epoxy on here, so you can't. The plug is on the inside, the connections are, so you can't. You can loosen this little nut up, but it comes down here. But this part is bolted to whatever the threaded part is on the inside, so you can't do that. So I gave him an option. I said, well, I can drill a hole. I can either, if he didn't want to use this 12 volt cord, I said we can just tie 110 12 volt adapter cord into this and get the polarity right, and just plug into your wall. I said if you don't want to do that, I can drill a hole, through the case here, go all the way through, put a little connector on the inside, solder a positive negative wire off of it, and then splice it into these two wires here, and solder it, heat shrink it, make it solid. I said if you want, I said it's going to take a little time and effort on my part to do, but the parts are pretty cheap and wouldn't charge you too much to do it. He said, I've had the thing for a long time. If it's working, just leave it like it is. So he said, I don't use it as much as I used to, and it's portable, and it stays out there. He said, if the battery goes down, I'll just charge the battery back up. So he said, just leave it the way it was. I said, sounds good to me, less work for me to do. So now what I want to do is I got this it's a weight simulator that Gallagher makes for service guys like me that do a lot of scale repair for them, and for like field shows and field days and show and tells. Basically, it's a variable resistor type of thing inside here, and it simulates signal that these scales look for to make the numbers go up or down. So the nice thing is Gallagher and Tru-Test use the same connectors. So they use these 7-pin connectors, and that's what this is right here. So I'm just going to choose one, doesn't matter which one I choose, and I'm just going to plug it in, because I don't have a low bar here to hook onto to make sure it works. So I got this weight simulator, and that's what we're going to use. So I'm going to turn it on. Oh crap, it won't. It may not recognize this thing, because it says a simulator, it's not an actual low bar. So this may not work for this system, or there's something wrong with the scale still. I don't know. It's hard to say because I don't have a. Well, I do have a low bar here. It's a Gallagher low bar, which will work on a Tru-Test scale. But I don't know what's wrong with that low bar. Yeah. So I don't think this weight limiter is going to work on a Tru-Test scale. So let me go grab that low bar, and I don't know what's wrong with that other low bar, but it's in because it's in for repair. But we'll hook it onto this, and we'll just see what it gives us. Alright, so I got a Gallagher alleyway low bar. So it's this kind of plug on the same thing, but like I said, I don't know what's wrong with this low bar, why it's in for repair. So it may give the same error code, or it may actually halfway give us some kind of number. Just turn it on. Oh, there we go. So 0 pounds. That's nice. So I'm gonna step on it. I'm about 5 feet from where I'm standing, so I won't be able to really, as I prop it up, I won't be able to really see what's doing. So I'm gonna halfway prop it up so I can watch it. Actually, I'm gonna hold it and then I'll just tell you what it does. Well, it didn't give me. It just shows 0. It didn't weigh anything. So that, like I said, that bar's in here for some kind of issue. Now the good thing, what it is telling me, with it showing 0 on here, is it is recognizing that this is plugged into it, because that's the first thing it's got to do. Because if I unplug this, it's going to go to dashes. It means, oh, it's like nothing's plugged into me, but I'm on. So it does recognize that it's being plugged, that this is a low bar or whatever is plugged into it. So I don't really have any other way to test it. I don't have a Tru-Test low bar here. I don't have a good Gallagher bar sitting here. or even a bad Tru-Test low bar. I don't have any of that stuff sitting here. So it was pretty sort of halfway cheap fix to do. So hopefully the guy just take a chance on it, because you know, a brand new scale, even on the cheaper lower end of a Tru-Test monitor, is about $500 to $700 on the lower end, depending on what kind of low bars he's got. So, you know, if we can fix this for a reasonable price, I mean, it does save them, you know, quite a bit of money, because we're not charging a whole lot to do this repair. I just wish I knew 100% that it would weigh and show. But the good thing is when I turn it on, even though it's got these little dots all over the screen, turn it on, a lot of the segments work like they're supposed to. So I think the scale is probably going to work. This on-off does. So, but if you've got a Tru-Test scale or a Tru-Test low bar, you want us to take a look at it for you, we'll be happy to do that. We do give free quotes. We don't charge anything up front to take a look at it, so it just costs you freight to get it here. If you say don't fix it, we won't fix it. You say fix it, we'll fix it. You know, so we're pretty much, that's, you know, what we do. Or if you got a Gallagher low bar or a Gallagher scale. We work on a lot of different brands of these scale things and low bars and stuff like that, but Gallagher and Tru-Test seem to be the two main ones that we work on out there. So, alright, well, until next time, see you guys later, and have a good rest of your day.